custom plate, and I don't know how I was able to keep one, but I still have it at home. It was a custom one. I know.
To give them both.
I know. It says cheesin'. I don't even know why I had that, but it's all good. I still have it, and I'm happy with it. All right, waiting for Instagram to catch up, and then we can go live there.
Did you tag me on Instagram?
Not yet.
Okay.
Well, I will once we're going to tag you in the thing. Okay, we're live there, so let's say, good. So we'll go to our comments here, chatting with Anthony Verna of Verna Law, right?
Yes.
And I did name the video that way, so people will see it from that. So
good. I can retweet that. Not a problem.
Yes, and this is our frame here. We're live now. So
very good.
Anthony, you came over to see us at our Rebel Ants booth. We're here at NFT NYC. What brings you to NFT NYC as an IP lawyer?
Well, as an IP lawyer, there's just nothing but intellectual property here at NFT and NYC. I mean, you think about NFTs. We've got artists that are creating NFTs, so a lot of the original artwork falls under copyright law. You have a lot of companies here doing lots of new innovations with NFTs, regardless of what you put on the NFT, how you handle the NFT. That can fall under patent law. You've got lots of companies with lots of different brands. That falls under trademark law. So we're here because a conference like this is full of intellectual property.
Yes, and are you here to wag your finger at people and say you're doing it wrong? Are you here to say you need me or else?
I could do the dikembe. No.
What's your pitch as people are walking up?
I do not wag my finger at anybody ever. No, my pitch is that when I meet artists, you need to own what you're doing.
Sure.
And while inherently, of course, you own what you're doing, we've got lots of mechanisms to show that you own what you're doing and what you're creating. So, my pitch is that you should really seriously consider the legal mechanisms. Even though here at a conference like NFT, a lot of people's attitudes are a little more anarchist than that. But in all reality,
or rebellious, as us as the Rebel Ants.
Yes, absolutely. So, but if you're creating art, part of what you're doing is creating art to make money.
Sure.
And these protections help you make money. So in the long run, despite the rebellious attitude, which I get because I've got some of that in me, this helps you in the long run. So filing your copyrights helps you. Creating your trademarks and registering your trademarks helps you. All of that helps you make money. And so that's what our pitch is to whether it's a business innovator or an art innovator.
Okay. What are some of the biggest mistakes you see these independent artists making that you'd say, if I can give you one message, make sure you're doing blank?
So from a legal standpoint, I'd say, look, the copyright registration is probably number one.
Okay.
From an art standpoint.
Yeah.
From a business standpoint, if you're really creating new steps, new algorithms, you really got to consider patent protection for that as well. Because frankly, on the patent side, if you don't file, there's zero protection whatsoever. On the copyright side, if you don't file, you're going to lessen your damages should there be an infringement. So that's kind of like this first step. Is making sure that you're filing and registering.
Okay. Once upon a time, I tried to register a symbol for something,
right?
And it was a pain in the butt. I was even using some lawyer website thing that was supposed to help me out.
Of course.
So how do you make this not so intimidating for somebody to say, okay, I want to do this, here's what I should do?
Let me do the work.
Okay, contact you.
That's how I make it not intimidating.
Got it.
We'll collect the information we need, we can do it on the back end, make us, because I've been doing this for 20 years. So, filing a trademark isn't so painful. I know what questions to ask my clients. This way I can be that bridge to the Patent and Trademark Office. On the patent side, look, patents are always going to be a pain in the butt, but we know what questions to ask, we know how to draft it. This way we're the bridge to the Patent and Trademark Office. And same on the trademarks.
Great.
We know what to ask.
Okay, so go to you.
That's
the idea.
I like the business pitch. Yes,
yes,
come to us.
Good. And so what was your pathway from IP into NFTs or crypto? Were you IP native and then you're like, oh, this is a good opportunity here for...
Well, partially. But even before that, I have a bachelor's in computer science. I coded before I went to law school. I played StarCraft. I still
Who
play
didn't?
StarCraft.
What was your one of 3 races there? Protoss, Human, Zerg?
I actually went Zerg because it was one of two things. There were one of two things. Either you did the lurker drop from behind somebody's base,
Sure.
or you just built 4 million Zerglings.
And you just Zerg Rush, right? Is that what they called it?
Yeah, Zergling Rush. Yes,
I haven't
exactly.
said that in 20 years.
Right? Exactly. Well, that was the last time I programmed. Was 20 years ago. So I have that bachelor's in computer science, and so when I went into law, it was really just a natural progression of my personality and my interests.
Great. And are you an NFT collector?
I'm not. All right, I lied. I've got some NBA Top Shot.
Okay.
But that's about it. But not being a collector doesn't mean I don't know what I'm doing. I have friends in the NFT space. I have friends who are NFT artists. I have clients who are on the blockchain. I have clients who are creating new things on the blockchain. We're drafting patents for them. We're filing copyrights for our artist clients. We're doing the branding for our clients that are in business. So despite not actually really being an NFT collector, we've got clients in the NFT industry because we understand what they're thinking.
Good. And just curious, for an industry that's fairly new with this Web3 stuff and the evolving technology that it is, how do you, as a lawyer or law firm, kind of stay up to date with these things or help stay at the leading edge of this?
Well, besides the fact that of course I've got friends in the industry and clients in the industry, so we've got our ears on the ground.
Right.
This isn't the only conference that we attend as well.
Okay.
Like I'm a member of the International Bar Association, and back in November at our annual conference, we probably had 4 or 5 sessions about Web3 and the fashion industry, the metaverse in the fashion industry, things like that. So we are keeping up to date. We do try our best to at least have accounts, in Web3, with Web3 interfaces and companies. So even if we're not collectors, we interact.
Okay. We have 10 people watching, so I just asked if anyone has any questions. And curious to you, at those events that are not a Web3 bar event, and maybe Web3 is being discussed, do you feel like you have to advocate for Web3 and tell these maybe some old timers like, hey, it's not as scary or bad as you think it is? What's like the general tone from a non-native crypto person?
Well, I think those who are speaking are obviously advocates for.
Sure.
And I think a lot of people who are listening are probably skeptical. So I don't necessarily find myself needing to advocate for it because the people who are speaking are absolutely advocating for it. I might be sitting somewhere in between the cynicism and the whole
you're not fully bought in?
Well, let me say this. When a law firm tells me that they have an office sitting in the metaverse, I might sit here and say, all right, I don't really know what that's getting you.
Are they using that as a tax write-off for square footage also? It's a big office.
I probably wouldn't doubt some of that.
Yeah.
But I understand when somebody comes to me and they've got a use case for it,
right.
I understand it and I'll advocate for that.
Good. Okay. Any last words where people should find you if they want to connect with you? Sure. You have a podcast. Why don't you plug that?
I do have a podcast, the most blandly named podcast out there, the Law and Business Podcast. Law and Business Podcast.
I thought you said lawn. I was like, okay, that's another business. The Law and Business.
There's my Philly accent coming
Law
out.
and Business.
Law and Business Podcast. Like I said, the worst named podcast out there. But we've got some episodes coming out talking about some advertising issues, talking about some tech issues, talking about some straight up trademark application issues as well. So, look it up on your podcast app and find me there.
Yep.
You can find me website, vernalaw.com. You can find all 3 of us on the team there. And you can call us 914-908-6757.
Beautiful. Well, Anthony, thanks for stopping by Rebel Ants Radio. It was a pleasure chatting with you.
So much
and
for having me.
hopefully continue the conversation.
Very good. And don't stop being rebellious, even though I went to law.
You too. All right. Thank you.